But I want to tell you the story.
Okay.
So Tanya comes up to me and she goes, I think I need a pregnancy test. I go, oh, okay. So I go to the grocery store, as you do, and pick up some stuff, some groceries, and also pick up a pregnancy test from the pharmacy. Now, I don't know if you know this, Joe, but they keep the pregnancy tests, like the more expensive ones, like the name brand ones, in a plastic security thing. Like it's inside a box that you have to use a magnet to open.
Gotcha.
Like security. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I don't know specifically for pregnancy tests, but I know razors have gotten so expensive. They're often, is it this kind of like the same
kind of idea, right? So you get it.
Yeah.
So I'm in the checkout line of the grocery store and I have all my stuff out there, and the cashier is trying to open the thing, but it's not opening up because sometimes they don't open up so good. She's really trying. She's struggling hard, and I'm just kind of standing there. And I swear to God, the person standing behind me goes, well, that's a bad omen. This woman, I'm standing there, and she goes, she had to be like maybe early 50s, mid 50s. She goes, well, that's a bad omen. And I go, what? Excuse me? I'm just like, yeah, I guess. And I was kind of flabbergasted, but I was also trying to let it roll off my back. I was just, me, I'm pretty kind of joking around. I'm okay. They're just joking around. No big deal. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I guess it is a bad omen. I'll be sure to make sure to not tell my wife about this omen situation when I take this to her. Because I was like, I wanted to make sure I mentioned my wife. Like, this isn't for just some random person. This is for my wife, who I'm committed to.
It's instead of Uber Eats, it's Uber pregnancy tests, Uber EPTs.
So she's like, that's a bad omen, and the cashier is still struggling to open up the thing, and she goes. Again, after that, I go, yeah, well, I'm not going to, I'll make sure to leave this part out. I want to take that home to my wife. And the woman goes, that's just such a dirty habit. She goes, that's a dirty habit. My eyebrows shoot right up. I go, what? And so at that point, the cashier is like running to a different, a place to like open up the thing. I turn her, she keeps talking to me. She's like, just a dirty habit. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. She's like, I just can't believe in this day and age, people are still smoking. And I look at her and I go, I'm not buying cigarettes. And she goes, you're not, then what is that? Like pointing to the thing. And I go, it's a pregnancy test. And the pure shock and horror of her face when she said that, when I said that to her, was just, oh my God. She like peered. It was like 1,000-yard stare of shame and embarrassment. I've never seen a foot in mouth moment where a person face plants with a foot in their mouth. And I swear to God, she goes, that's a very personal thing, isn't it? I go, yeah, it's a very personal thing that you're asking me about while I'm on the checkout line of this grocery store. And, but yeah, she thought I was buying cigarettes.
Well, that'll teach her to look over people's shoulders while they're buying groceries.
The audacity.
Yes.
The audacity to we've been to grocery stores before. The idea of like me commenting on what people are buying.
Yeah.
Wow. The audacity of that. Can you believe that?
I can, because it confirms my insecurity of being judged while I'm in the grocery store line.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
I have a brief story if you have time.
Oh, hold on. Before I do that, I did have one more line.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she was very ashamed. She was embarrassed, and she should be, because that's very inappropriate. And besides, if I was buying cigarettes, that's none of her business.
Yeah.
That's like, even if I was, why are you commenting on this? This has nothing to do with you. And so she just walked into the situation, and I'm laughing, right? I'm like, that's a pregnancy test. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, I know, right? What you're doing is very inappropriate. And I swear out loud, I said this. I go, when you said it was a dirty habit, I swear to God, all I could think about was, I'm just trying to grow my family. And she goes, good day to you. And I'm like, hold on. No. You inserted yourself into my life, into my existence. Yeah. And now you want me to leave you alone. No. Now we're going to write this out.
Did you turn around and judge the items in her cart?
Oh my gosh. No, I did not. But just like I'm checking out cigarettes, turns out it's a pregnancy test. She has this, oh my God, shock and horror. I really think I should remake this moment into like a short film.
Yes.
Because she said, I remember as I leave, she's like, well, you have a story to tell, I guess your family of, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be telling this story. I might make a short film out of this. I told everybody when we went home, the pregnancy test came back positive. Quite frankly, this will be the story for the whole pregnancy.
Yeah. Well, if she hadn't finished that thought and the test was positive, would you have been like, is this the omen? I mean,
yeah, it's just the omen. Can you imagine that? Thinking like someone is buying a pregnancy test and like, that's a bad omen. It's not opening. Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Oh, she had to go back to her car and reevaluate everything she said when she said that's a bad omen. Like, oh my God, what have I done?
If she's a decent person, she did. Yeah.
I think she's just one of those high and mighty types who maybe feel like telling somebody not to smoke is doing the public a good of some kind, even though it's very invasive and very none of your business. And I think, but she must have like a goodness to her because of that. And then she had to go back into her car and be like, face palm, double face palm in her hand. Oh my God. I said it was a bad omen. I hope everything works out really well. Imagine if it didn't. I mean, that's just horrifying.
I'd have followed her to her car and be like, you drive that? That's a death trap. Pollutes an awful lot. I've seen the CO2 ratings on that.
Yeah. And let me judge your stuff that you buy.
Yeah. Follow her home. Be like, oh, you didn't take a shortcut. Yeah, you burning even more gas. Smogging up Lawrence. Yeah.
Okay, so did you have a story about a grocery line checkout?
I do. So a few years back, a young lady who also performed at Comedy City with me was collecting Band-Aids for a children's Band-Aid drive. I guess at children's hospitals, they just have the boring old tan Band-Aids or adhesive bandages. I guess Band-Aid's a brand name. And I'm giving them too much pub. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to keep saying Band-Aid because it's easier.
Well, but now they're going to spike in value. Yeah, now everyone's going to know what a Band-Aid is now.
You're welcome, Johnson & Johnson. Yeah. Before this airs, let's go buy some J&J stock. So anyway, so I see her at Comedy City. I'm like, hey, did you collect as many Band-Aids as you wanted? She's like, oh, we could always collect more. And I looked at the clock and I was like, hey, yeah, you know what? I'll run to the store. I'll get you a few boxes. And so without really realizing that it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm walking into a grocery store by myself and going straight to the pharmacy department and just kind of like picking up some random boxes of children's Band-Aids until I basically can't carry anymore. So I've got an armful of nothing but children's Band-Aid boxes and I'm not even thinking about it. And I go over to the checkout counter and they all just kind of flop out onto the conveyor belt. And then it hits me, the expression on the clerk's face as he looks at me as nothing but 10 boxes of children's Band-Aids come out of my arm at 11 o'clock on a Friday night. And I'm like, do I say anything? No, wait till he says something. And then he just goes, you having a slumber party? And I look at him like, what about this says slumber party to you? In the moment, I didn't think of anything this clever, but I should have been like, yes. And our activity tonight was kiddie pools full of broken glass. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I was just like caught off guard and I was like, oh yeah, this does look weird. So I was about to explain and I go, well, this is for a charity. And he cuts me off like, he all but said, like there's no way he wants anybody to explain why he has an armful of children's Band-Aids by himself at 11 at night in a grocery store. Like there's no innocent explanation, like
it's better if I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to hear this, man.
Do I have to like give a statement later? I don't know.
I get to leave here in a half hour. Don't tell me I've got to be filling out a report or something,
Oh gosh. Yeah. That's you're right. Like people size up what's going on in your life,
Yeah.
like what you're buying there, like a bunch of like 10 boxes of kids Band-Aids. It's like, so did you have a slumber party or a birthday party and like a paper cut situation happen?
Well, I had a hard day at work, and so I just came home and hit the kids, but they're good kids, so they deserve
10 boxes of
yeah, they deserve Spider-Man Band-Aids. Yes.
Yeah, we play a game called Band-Aid Mummy.
Yeah, there we go. If I'd have actually stood there and be like, no, it's for children with cancer, he'd be like, oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's for a charity drive for the hospital, of course.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that scene from what's it from? It's a Fight Club where his package or like his briefcase was vibrating. Remember that? He tries to get on a flight, and they're like, "So wait, hold on. You're saying they think it was a bomb? Like, was it ticking? Like, typically bombs don't tick. They mostly vibrate. Sometimes they get confused with, a pleasuring device, if you will. But we can never say yours. We must say a. I don't even own one of. He goes, cuts him down like, I don't want to hear it. But so kid on the way now.
That's
and
great. Congratulations.
And I have now that story to tell, and it's nice to get that off my chest to talk about that.
So are we going to lose our recording studio to another kid's room? Or
yes, we are. This is going to be. We're currently sitting in the future room of our new bundle of joy. So I'm going to have to build another studio. In addition to my garage, right? I have a 4-car garage. I've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
This is now the time to do it. Get some framing and lay down some flooring out there and turn that window as a window and get some air out there, make it actually a livable space out there and make that my office. And so that's going to be where we record things whenever. But this room right here is going to have to be the nursery for the next child.
Oh, yeah.